Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd just do a little update on how the garden's doing. For the most part, most of it is doing really good. I do have a few things that are struggling right now. I will point out a few things that are struggling, and also point out that we already have tomatoes coming in. They're pretty good size. So we are in the tomato garden. We'll take a look at some of these down here. We had some tomatoes that were really slow to start up. And then I did some starters on 10 different varieties of tomatoes. I had started those later than the rest. So that's some of these smaller ones. That's what those are. And I don't know the names of them. I'd have to look back on the seeds, but I did not label them in my little starter packs, so I don't know what's what. So it'll all be a surprise. But the tomatoes, for the most part, are doing really good. These two pots here are small. This one over here is doing really good. See, I thumped that ladybug off there. But we have 5 or 6 tomato plants. This is a Cherokee purple. It's got a tomato in there. You can see it in there. Over there is a new variety. I don't see any tomatoes coming yet on those. I did, for a second time, I came in and I did some clipping from the bottom to force it to grow taller versus wider. So I did trimmed up from the bottom. As you can tell, like here, I cut some of those off. Around the other side, there's another plant that's really slow, but this one's got some little tomatoes on it. That is a sun sugar. That one is looking really bad. I'm not sure that one's gonna make it. I don't think, unless the leaves are supposed to be like that, but I don't think so. That one's gonna be a slower tomato plant. This one over here is doing really good. It's a black cherry. I do believe, yes, it's got buds on it. See this stem right there? It's some of those that you buy like at Walmart with like 4 or 6 tomatoes on it. This is a bush early girl. And you can see it's got tomatoes on it. A lot of buds at the top too. This one is our Super Sue. I guess is how you say it. It's got tomatoes on it. It's got some little tomatoes there. That one may not make it. It's looking kind of puny. I think the bucket held too much water on that one. I think that's what the problem is with that one. That was some of the late starts that I did, and this was some late starts also. This one back here, it's growing through the fence. We sure don't want that, because then the deer will come and eat it. That one, I'm not seeing any buds. Well, I see buds, but oh yeah, there's some little tomatoes on that one. That is a Super Sweet 100. This one right here is a Bradley, and of course it's got quite a few little tomatoes on it. This one is a Snow White, and it's got some little tomatoes on it. This one is a Jet Star, and it's got tomatoes too. So what I've done is I started a notebook. I've never done that before. Like, well, actually, this is the first time we've planted trying to grow a huge variety of tomatoes. Here again are 2 tomato plants. Those are late starters that I did. They're actually really tall. They're like probably 20 inches tall. This one has 2 in it, 2 different kinds, because I ran out of buckets and ran out of space, but I wanted to try out these new tomatoes too. So anyway, and I don't know if I mentioned that basil is good to have in the garden to keep squash bugs away. So we've got some basil down there. We actually sprinkled a few basil seeds in some of these pots just to kind of put it around the area. And so the tomato worms are supposed to not like the smell of basil. So it's supposed to steer them away. But as you see, I've got some basil growing in this pot. A couple different, that pot did really good. There's some in that pot. So spaced out. And then I've got a little thing there. And this one over here is not doing very well. But that is an update on our tomatoes. Here in the center are our potatoes that, if you go back and look at our original video when we planted the garden, and this was just like barely covering the soil in the bucket with the leaves, and this thing is humongous. It's so heavy now that it's actually fell over. And down in there are some potatoes that are right on the surface, and I've covered it with this straw to help protect it so they wouldn't come up through the soil too fast. I've never grown potatoes before. I'm told that when the leaves all die off, that's when you harvest your potatoes. But I'm pretty sure this bucket is going to be pretty full. So now we're going to move out here to the outside. This is an addition. There is a video out there for my herb garden. What I did was I planted these planters. So you'll have to go watch the herb video of planting the herbs. But I've got some mint and basil and mint, and then some flowers. I got all these, this hanging basket, and all these came from my kids from Mother's Day. Out here we have garlic, basil, parsley, cilantro, escutcheon, chives, and lemon balm planted out here in the, I think there's some weeds growing in there too, and I can't tell what's what at this point, but waiting to see how all those herbs come up. These are herb flower pot planters that we added on after we did the original garden. Here's the other herb planter. These are some recycled posts that we had that were hollow. We were going to do another project with them, but we decided to use them for this. We've got herbs planted in here. We've got some primrose yellow, primrose purple, chamomile, lavender, dill, tarragon, rosemary, sage, thyme, oregano, and mint. This mint is not from, this was a starter that some of my kids gave me for Mother's Day. But down in there we've got, you can see some thyme growing right there. We've got some tarragon coming in. We've got some purple primrose and some yellow primrose. And some of the other stuff, I can't tell what's weeds and what's the herb. I'll have to wait a little while to see. We've had a lot of rain, and some of that compost took on by itself and decided to grow weeds. So now we're going to move over to the main garden. To our cabbage. Like I said, you go back and you look at the original planting of the garden where these things were just so tiny, and now a month later, this is what we've gotten. Our cabbage, I've trimmed the bottoms of those off, trimmed off a bunch of the leaves off of that several times already. Well, 2 times for sure. And they are nice and big. I'm looking forward to getting a cabbage out of that. Can feel like there might be a head down in there, but not ready yet. But those are our 8 cabbages. Here's our Crookneck Squash. And we have a problem with squash bugs. We have in the past, but I'm not seeing any squash bugs right now, and that could be because we did a little research and we were told that mint was good to plant with your squash. So there we have our mint. We did have some mint come up in here. We sprinkled a little bit. I'm not seeing any mint in here right now. But I think with the smell of the mint in the flower garden, I think just the smell of it may be keeping the squash bugs away. Like I said, I've got probably 10 Crookneck Squash coming in down there, and I hope to keep those. Down here at this end, we've got our 2 kinds of zucchini squash. We've got a white zucchini, and we've got a green zucchini squash. And we do, oh, here's some mint that's come up in here. So we do have a little bit of mint that come up in that, that pot. I'll bounce over here to our okra. Like I said in our previous video, we used to plant 9 5-gallon buckets of okra. And we, there would be 3 to 5 stalks in each bucket. This year we decided to scale that way down because we usually have way too much okra, and we still have okra in the freezer from last year. So we scaled down to just 2 buckets with 3 plants each. Here's one, and this is one. The one that we planted on this side didn't come up, so that's okay. We used seeds from our okra that we harvested last year. This one does have the 3 coming up in it, along with a lot of weeds already. My goodness. So hard to keep the weeds out. But anyway, we got 3 okras. They don't look great. Normally by this time, they're a foot tall. So I'm a little concerned that they might not come up, but that's okay. If we don't, I just hate that we've wasted buckets and we could have planted something else. I guess we have some room. We could plant some other stuff. Moving on around to our hot peppers. We've got a few different kinds of jalapeno peppers. They're doing okay. It seems like everything should be a little bit taller, you know, in height. But these are not that tall, but some of them are. But those are our hot peppers. Jalapenos. This one down here is a ghost pepper. So now we're getting into the hotter peppers for sauces. Cayenne. My goodness, don't know what we've got in this one. Serrano. That one's a serrano pepper. These, I think, are ghost. Some kind of hot pepper my husband picked out. That's a hot pepper. And then we've got a couple of ghost peppers here in the front. And then over here, this is some sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes that are doing amazing. Started these with some starts I got from a neighbor. And my goodness, I planted 2 of them. Now I planted 1 in that bucket, so that one's good. Planted 2 in this bucket, and my gosh, there's already 4 coming up. And I don't know if I need to keep this straw on there or leave it off. I'm not sure. I'm gonna take it off for now. You guys can leave me a comment and let me know if I'm supposed to leave it on there. But it's kind of smothering them. But both of these pots are purple sweet potatoes. Can't wait to try these. I've never tried a purple sweet potato. Looking forward to them. But as you can tell, we've got, well, actually there's 3, 4, 5, 6. This is amazing for the first time. And then moving over to our, these on the end here, these 3 are banana peppers, sweet banana peppers that are taking over, the weeds are taking over. And I don't know if that's why they are not growing very fast. But then we have on this end, there's 3 bell peppers. Those are green bell peppers. We've got red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. We've got long bell peppers. And we've got some baby bell mixed, which are going to be like the variety colors, the red, yellow, and orange sweet snack size bell peppers. So that's what we've got here, a mixture. And then we've got 6 more bell peppers over here on this side. Like I said, they're not as big as I thought they would have been, but it is just mid-May. So they still got a lot of time to grow. Now these 2, that one might be okay, but I don't know. That one, I might need to do some trimming on that one. But anyway, that wraps up our, well, actually, I missed this right here. This is going to be a purple cabbage. This is a late start. I just planted these probably about 4 or 5 days ago. So I do see a start coming up right down there. You can see it. So that is oh, I see another one right here. So those are purple cabbage. These over here, these other 8 cabbages are just plain your standard cabbage. But that's going to be a purple cabbage. I'm wanting to try out and just experiment with a bunch of different things. And I'm limited on space. Now, we are going to be adding another garden space next year. So hopefully we'll get some things planted in the fall for some early planting, fall, winter stuff. But we'll see how that goes. I've been working on the space, cleaning it up, but we're not there yet. These out here, these are 4 add-ons. Like I tell you, I've run out of space for my garden stuff, and I've got so much more stuff I want to grow. And I don't have the space for it. So we're going to figure this out, and we're going to figure out how we can get more space. But these out here are potatoes. They are 6 different potatoes. I ordered the potato starts. They came in some of them looked really good. Some of them didn't look so good. But this is my first year to grow potatoes. So I really don't know what they're supposed to look like.
There's a big
so
house.
I planted those. I planted 2 starts in each of the grow bags. So we'll see what happens. If these grow like my other potatoes are growing, I'm going to be amazed. I'm going to be the newest potato grower. So anyway, that wraps up our garden update video. If you haven't already, go back and watch the cleanup of the garden and watch the garden planting video and watch the herb planter video. And then come back around and watch this one again. You'll be amazed at, in 1 month's time, how much the garden has grown. I'm amazed. When I went back and looked at the planting of the garden video this morning, I'm like, oh, wow, it's time for an update because everything has bloomed up so well. I need to do an update. So here's your update. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you subscribing to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you know when we post a new video. And if you have any suggestions or comments, please, please leave us a comment. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.